Karen screamed about her HOA rights being blocked. Cops took my side and left her speechless. Have you ever faced someone so convinced of their own power they forgot how the world actually works? In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns and picket fences painted a picture of peace, a storm was brewing. Karen Whitmore, the self-crowned queen of the Homeowners Association, stood in my driveway, her face red as she screamed about her HOA rights being violated. Her finger jabbed the air, accusing me of blocking her precious authority. But by the end of the day, the cops would leave her speechless and me vindicated. It all began with a simple Saturday morning. I'm Mark, a single dad and retired firefighter who moved to Willow Creek for a fresh start with my daughter, Sophie. Our house was a fixer-upper, and I'd been working hard to make it our own. That morning, I'd parked my pickup truck in my driveway to unload lumber for a treehouse Sophie dreamed of. The truck was fully on my property, not an inch over the line. But Karen, with her eagle-eyed patrols and clipboard of complaints, had other ideas. She marched up, not even 9 a.m., waking Sophie with her high-pitched tirade. "This truck is a disgrace," she shrieked. "It's an eyesore, and you're obstructing HOA access to my driveway. I have rights. Move it, or I'm calling the police." I tried reasoning me driveway, my truck. No rules broken, but Karen wasn't here for logic. She wanted control. She stormed off, phone in hand, dialing 911 like it was her personal concierge line. I sighed, knowing this was about to escalate. As I waited for the inevitable, I checked the HOA bylaws on my phone. I'd read them cover to cover when we moved in, wary of tales about overzealous boards. Sure enough, nothing prohibited parking in my own driveway, and my truck wasn't blocking her access. Her driveway was clear, a good 10 feet away. Karen's rights were a fiction, but she wielded them like a scepter. I leaned against my truck, sipping coffee, ready to face whatever came next. The police arrived 20 minutes later, 2 officers stepping out of a cruiser. Karen, now flanked by her neighbor Linda, timid woman who seemed dragged into the circus, rushed to them, arms flailing. "This man is violating HOA regulations," she declared, pointing at me like I'd committed a felony. "He's blocking my rights to free access. I demand you make him move this junk heap." The officers, a veteran named Officer Daniels and a younger one named Ruiz, exchanged a glance that said they'd seen this movie before. I stayed calm, introducing myself and explaining the situation. "This is my property, officers. The truck's in my driveway, not blocking hers. I've got the HOA bylaws right here if you need them." Karen scoffed, folding her arms. "Those bylaws are outdated. I'm the HOA president, and I say what goes." Officer Daniels raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, HOAs don't override property law. Let's see those bylaws." I handed over my phone, opened to the relevant page. Karen's face twitched, but she doubled down. "This is about community standards. He's lowering property values." That's when the twist came, a soft voice from behind us. Karen, I don't think that's true." It was Linda, her neighbor, shifting nervously. All eyes turned to her. I checked the bylaws last night after you complained about Mark's truck. He's not breaking any rules. And, well, your car's been parked across my driveway for weeks. And you told me I couldn't complain because you're the president." The air went still. Karen's mouth opened, then closed, like a fish gasping on land. Officer Ruiz stifled a smirk. Daniels turned to Karen, his tone firm. "Ma'am, if you're misrepresenting HOA rules, that's a problem. And if you're blocking someone else's driveway, we can address that too." Karen sputtered, "This is outrageous. I'm protecting this neighborhood." But Linda, emboldened, pulled out her phone, showing photos of Karen's SUV sprawled across her driveway, dated over weeks. The officers studied them, then looked at Karen, who was now a shade paler. The confrontation reached its peak as Daniels laid out the truth. "Mr. Thompson's within his rights. His truck's on his property, and the HOA bylaws back him up. Ms. Whitmore, you've got no legal grounds here. And based on these photos, you're the one violating access rights." He gestured to Linda's evidence. You can't enforce rules, you're breaking yourself. Karen's eyes darted, searching for an escape. This is a misunderstanding, she cried. I'll sue the HOA, I'll sue you. She jabbed a finger at me. Officer Ruiz stepped in, calm but unyielding. Threats won't help, ma'am. If you keep making false 911 calls, you could face charges for misuse of emergency services. We suggest you resolve this through proper HOA channels, or better yet, talk to your neighbors like adults. Karen's bravado crumbled. She stood, speechless, as the officers turned to Linda. Ma'am, if you want to file a complaint about your driveway, we can take it now. Linda hesitated, then nodded. Yes, please. As the officers documented Linda's complaint, Karen's empire of petty power collapsed. Neighbors, drawn by the commotion, had gathered on their lawns, whispering. Word spread fast. Karen's reign of terror, built on fake rules and intimidation, was unraveling. She slunk back to her house, muttering about injustice, her usual swagger gone. The cops finished with Linda, gave me a nod, and drove off. Sophie, watching from the porch, ran out. Dad, did we win? I hugged her. Yeah, kiddo, we did. By evening, the neighborhood was alive with change. Linda, no longer Karen's silent sidekick, emailed the HOA board, sharing her photos and calling for an audit of Karen's enforcement. Other neighbors chimed in, sharing stories of her bullying, fines for unapproved mailboxes, threats over garden gnomes, even calling the city on a kid's lemonade stand. The board, spooked by the backlash, scheduled an emergency meeting. A week later, Karen was voted out as president. Her own bylaws used to oust her. She put her house up for sale soon after, unable to face the community she'd alienated. That night, as I hammered boards for Sophie's treehouse, I reflected on the day. It wasn't just about a truck or a driveway, it was about standing up to someone who thrived on control, who twisted rights into a weapon. Karen's downfall wasn't just her silence in front of the cops. It was the moment her neighbors found their voices. Linda's courage, the bylaws' clarity, and the officer's fairness turned her fiction into dust. What would you have done in my shoes? Was Karen just misguided? Or did she deserve her bitter end? Share your thoughts. Let's talk about where the line is between community and control.